All right, welcome back. Another week, another dose of pure chaos from the Muskiverse, where every giant leap forward seems to come with an equally spectacular faceplant.
So, what are we getting into today? We've got full self-driving hitting moments of actual god-tier brilliance while also getting completely lost on a trip to the grocery store. We're going to look at the robotaxi promises getting just absolutely demolished by reality, Europe putting up a massive wall of red tape, and the one tiny, ridiculously complex piece of tech that could jam up the entire AI plan. Let's get into it.
All right, first up, Section 1. Let's talk about the absolute roller coaster that is FSD version 14.2. Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, because there are some genuine holy shit moments with this new version. I mean, check this out. A YouTuber named Electrified caught it doing this. Just perfect parallel park. No hesitation, super assertive. It's the kind of thing that makes you go, man, we are so damn close. It's honestly fire. But here's the thing, and this is what's so wild. FSD 14.2 has this insane split personality. I mean, on one hand, the actual driving, it's incredible. The jitters are gone, it's not slamming on the brakes for leaves anymore, it's smooth, it's courteous, it's everything you'd hope for. But then, you ask it to follow a simple map, and it is completely, utterly fucked.
And I'm not talking about small screw-ups here. This is fundamental stuff. The car will literally ignore the navigation. It'll go left when it's supposed to go right. It takes these weird roundabout routes for no reason. People are reporting it just pulling over and parking in the middle of a trip miles from where they're supposed to be going, turning a simple right-hand turn into a 7-minute detour. I mean, come on. If this is supposed to be a robotaxi, that's a total non-starter. It's unusable.
Which brings us to Section 2, the robotaxi program, and the massive gap between the promises and, well, reality. So you remember this, right? Just a few weeks ago, Elon's on the all-in pod, and he drops this number, 500 robotaxis in Austin by the end of 2025. Big promise. And here's where we actually are. According to his latest post on X, the fleet is going to roughly double next month, which brings the grand total to 58. Yeah, 58. That's not a rounding error. That's missing the mark by almost 10 times on a promise he made like last month. It's just a staggering miss. And here's why that matters. Even with this so-called doubled fleet, the service is basically unusable for a lot of people. You have to remember, Waymo's already in Austin, and their fleet density is 10 times bigger. 10 times. That's why you're seeing people complain about 45-minute waits or just getting high service demand errors. There are just not enough cars on the road. Period.
Okay, but look, it's not all bad news. To be fair, they are making some progress on the red tape side of things. They just finished their self-certification in Nevada, so that means they can start testing on public roads there, with a safety driver. It's a small win, but hey, a win's a win.
All right, let's shift gears and head over to Europe, where Tesla seems to be hitting a brick wall. This is Section 3, Resistance and Red Tape. So check out this bureaucratic clusterfuck. Tesla comes out and says the Dutch regulators, the RDW, have committed to greenlighting FSD in February 2026, basically saying it's a done deal. Well, the RDW immediately comes back and is like, hold on. No, we didn't. They said Tesla gets to show them that they're compliant in February, and then they'll decide. That's a huge difference. One is a promise, the other is just an appointment. And you know what? It's not just the government guys pushing back. There was this big survey of EV owners. And get this, over half said they'd avoid a car brand because of politics. And guess which brand was number 1 on the avoid list? Yep, Tesla, 41%. In the US, it's even worse. 52% of EV owners would steer clear of Tesla just because of politics. I mean, that's a huge self-inflicted wound in a market that's getting more crowded every day. And you can see it right in the sales numbers. The overall EV market in Europe, it's booming, up over 26%. But Tesla? They're going the other way. Sales are down almost 30% this year. That is not a blip, my friends. That is a serious trend. Okay, so for section 4, we're going to zoom way out from cars and software and talk about the actual silicon that's supposed to make all this AI magic happen. Let's talk about hardware's hidden bottleneck. Right, so Tesla's designing its own badass AI chips, right? AI5, AI6, awesome stuff. But here's the catch. To actually manufacture those chips, to print transistors that are insanely small, you need this one very specific, very magical technology called EUV lithography. And here's the kicker. This is the entire supply chain. It doesn't matter how great Tesla's chip designs are, to actually make them, they need a machine, and only one company on the entire planet makes these machines, a Dutch company called ASML. These things cost $250 million a piece, and ASML literally can't build them fast enough for everyone who wants one. That's NVIDIA, Intel, everyone. So this one company is the ultimate bottleneck, a single point of failure for Tesla's entire AI roadmap.
All right, moving on to section 5. Time for a rapid-fire round. Let's call it Muskiverse Miscellany.
First up, a pretty cool engineering flex. The world's biggest supercharger station, the Oasis in California, is now live and running completely off-grid, all solar and megapacks.
Next, Tesla is officially in India. They just opened their first all-in-one center in Gurugram. Sales are still basically zero, but, it's a start.
Meanwhile, those union strikes in Sweden are still going strong. The latest is a new blockade that stops anyone from doing paint and bodywork on Teslas.
And finally, some kind of disappointing hardware news. The new Model Y Performance has a new fancy battery pack, but the charging is slow as hell. We're talking 30 minutes to get from 10 to 80%. In 2025, that's not great.
Okay, last section, the final take. So after all that, what's the big picture? What are we supposed to make of all this?
What this week really shows is this crazy paradox. Tesla can clearly solve these insanely hard engineering problems, right? Like making a car drive like a human. But the real question is that enough? Can first principles engineering and vertical integration outrun pissed-off politicians, a public that's turning against them, and a single point of failure in their supply chain that they have literally zero control over? I don't know. That's the real test. We'll see how it plays out. Catch you next week.